Hi, welcome to the new session of geography class. So today we are going to deal with the second chapter in geography, that is, it's a little bit lengthy chapter, and you have learned in your first chapter about resources, is it? So what are resources, what are the different classifications of resources, and how we can conserve resources, and you have learned about sustainable resources, what is the scarcity of resources, what all things you have to keep in mind, all these things we have learned, is it? So now we are just going to learn about these natural resources and some of the important natural resources like land, soil, water, natural vegetation and wildlife in this chapter. So let us start the chapter. So you know what is land, is that we cannot live without land. Land is one of the important natural resources which human beings need. Not only human beings, animals and birds and aquatic animals, all these living beings needs land to live. So land is an important resource. So we are going to learn this in this chapter about what is land and what are the peculiarities of land. So land is among the most important natural resource, as I told you before, and it covers only about 30% of the total area of the earth's surface. Our land is covered with water and land surface. But out of this total area, only 30% of the area is covered by land, and that too in this 30%, all the landforms are not suitable for human beings to live. Some parts are not suitable for living, some are suitable for living, and so there is an uneven distribution of population. It is mainly because of the characteristics of land and climate. Hope you understood what I said. So what are the reasons for uneven distribution of population? We know that in some areas the population is very high, whereas when we compare to some areas the population is very low. So there are many reasons for this uneven distribution of population. What are the reasons for uneven distribution of population? Land as a resource. Okay, let's move to the reasons why there is uneven distribution of population. So what are the different reasons why the people are staying less in some region and where there are more in some region. So you might have come across in your last year chapter also when you were studying some chapters. You know that in some region, especially population and all, you know that some region there are more people living, and in some region there are less people living. So what are the reasons for that? We will see why the areas are less populated. One of the reason is rugged topography. See, rugged topography means the leveling of the land. So in some areas the land will not be in a plain way, or it will not be plains, it will be having ups and downs which is not suitable for living. So in that area there will be less population. And next one is steep slopes of the mountains. See, when the mountains are having slopes, that area is not good for building houses. Construction of houses and buildings are difficult in that region. So that area also will be having less population. The next one is low-lying areas. See, some areas will be having water logging. That area is also not suitable for staying or constructing buildings or houses. So that area will also have less population. Last one is thick forested areas and desert areas. Even desert climate or the desert area these areas are too hot and the people won't prefer to live in such areas. So that areas, and again thick forested areas, these areas also will have less population. So that are the reasons why the population is not evenly distributed, because of the landforms in that region, and again the climate, like what I told you, deserts, is it? So such areas people are not preferring to live in that area, and so the use of land in that area will be less. Plains and river valleys are actually densely populated. You know the reason, we have learned in our 7th standard, right? Why the Ganga Brahmaputra region or the northern plains are more densely populated, because it is suitable, that is an area which is suitable for constructing buildings and houses. It is an area which is cultivable and which has good climate for cultivating land, and again it's all modes of transportation is very good is very easy in that region. So that's why these areas, plains and river valleys, are densely populated. River valleys on the other way, they are fertile lands, so people prefer to live, to hold land for agricultural purposes, and they live on that region. That's why plains and river valleys are densely populated. So hope you understood what are the reasons for uneven distribution of population. For example, say, the points are like rugged topography, steep slopes of mountains, low lying areas susceptible to waterlogging, then desert areas and thick forest area. Then which are the areas which is densely populated? The areas like plains and river valleys are densely populated. So now let us move on to land use. What is land use? So what all things we use land? Yeah, we use land for constructing buildings, construction of industries, then for cultivating crops, then again we use land for building roads, etc. So lands are of many use. So land is used for different purposes like agriculture, forestry, mining, building houses, roads and setting up of industries. So as such, this all uses commonly is known as land use. Hope you understood what is land use. So for what all purposes we use land, all together is considered as land use. So the use of land is determined by the physical factors. So what are the factors that I have mentioned to you before also. What are the factors that determines the use of land? That is topography, soil, climate, minerals and availability of water. Is it? We will go and stay in place where it is suitable for constructing building, that is the topography is good. Then again we will see what type of soil is, if the soil is suitable for cultivating or we can produce crops in that region. Again the climate, it is neither too hot or too cold. So in that area people prefer to live more. Again the areas where there are more minerals found, in that area also that areas will be having dense population and availability of water. So when we are constructing a house, the first thing we will keep in mind is the availability of water. So everyone prefer to live in a place where there is availability of water, where water is abundant, it is sufficient for our use. Okay. Then there are human factors, certain human factors such as population and technology are also determinations of land use. The technology and the population, those are human factors which are determinants of land use. So you know what is land use. So land which is used for different purposes is known as land use. So it depends upon many factors, as I told you, like topography, soil, climate, etc. Then again the population and the technology also determines the use of land. So next we will move on to common property land. So we will see what is the difference between common property land and private land, or private land and community land. What do you mean by private land? Say we own our own houses, that is our private property. Nobody is coming to say that it is their property, so it is our own. Such land are known as house and its surrounding. So that area is ours alone. Nobody is going to argue that it is theirs. So such land is known as private land. And some areas are there which is used by the community as such. It is owned by the community for common uses like collection of fodder, fruits, nuts or medicinal herbs, and such areas are used by the community as such. They will all use it and everyone has a right to use it. Is it? Such lands, such community lands which are used by the people, the whole community is known as common property land. So next we will see what are the reasons for limited land resource and distribution of land. Why are the land resources limited and what are the reasons for the destruction of land? So what are the reasons? Can you tell me some of the reasons for the destruction of land? soil erosion, then there is deforestation. The people are again encroaching common land. See, some of the areas which are common, we used to come across such news in newspapers and all this. It's some common property lands are encroached by the private individuals, which are to be enjoyed by the community as such. So, this happens. This is the reasons for limited land resource, encroachment of common lands to build commercial areas and buildings in urban areas. So, they will encroach the lands, community land, and they will start building houses or buildings or some commercial areas there. That is one of the reason why there is land is getting limited, or it is getting destructed. Second one is land degradation. So, land degradation happens when there is too much of use of fertilizers and chemicals, and there is when the landslides happen. All these are reasons for land degradation. So, when there is heavy rain or natural calamities like volcanoes or soil erosion or floods or earthquakes, this will destroy the land as such. So, this leads to land degradation. Next one is soil erosion. When there is heavy rain, the top layer of the soil will be taken away and it will be eroded, and that also destroys the land as such. And the last one is desertification. See, when there is mining happening, mining sites are there. After a long time, when the minerals are fully excavated or extracted from the ground, this will lead to then after that the people will be desertifying that region and they will move to some other areas. This also lead to degradation of land. So, now we will see what are the methods to conserve land. So, you know how the land is destructed. So, most of the land in our region are destroyed because of many human activities and natural calamities. So, how can we conserve this land resource? What are the methods which will help us to conserve this land resource? First one is afforestation. What is afforestation? Planting more trees, is it? So, how does afforestation helps? Afforestation helps in holding the soil firmly in the land, is it? It will not take away the top layer of the soil. This we will see in the next topic also, when we are discussing about soil. Same thing will be discussed there also, is it? First one is afforestation. So, planting more and more trees in the surrounding areas will help in avoiding the destruction of land. Second one is land reclamation. So, we will see that many land areas in our surroundings are kept as barren land, which is not used. Some areas will be marshy land, some will be hilly land, rugged form of land. So, these lands are made into, we will transform these land into cultivable ones. That is known as land reclamation. We will we will transform these lands into proper lands for cultivating or for building houses and all. So, such lands can be used again. So, that is known as land reclamation. Next one is regulated use of chemical pesticides. Uses of chemical pesticides has destroyed the land too much. So, it is reducing the fertility of the soil. As we go on using pesticides, it is affecting the environment, it is bringing pollution, it is also bringing land pollution. So, we have to regulate the use of chemical fertilizers and chemical pesticides. Okay, reduce chemical fertilizers. Instead of chemical fertilizers, what we have to use? We have to use organic manures. Clear? So, next one is check overgrazing. You know what is grazing of the cattle. So, how does it destruct the land? See, when we are plucking some plants, we will do it slowly, right? But you know how the cattle will do, they don't know what is happening to the land. When they eat the grass, they take out the grass as such, and it will take the roots also and loosen the top layer of the soil. So, when the top layer of the soil is being loosen, it will erode the top layer and reduce the fertility of the soil. So, we have to check overgrazing of the land. Then reduce mining, even the mining sites were being abandoned after the extraction of minerals, and this leads to destruction of land. So, these are the reasons, the methods how we can conserve the land resources. Okay, now we will just deal with what is landslide. What are landslides? So, you might have seen landslides in your area, especially in Kerala during rainy season. We have come across landslides in many places, causing death to many people, and the property was destroyed, they lost their houses, is it? So, such things happen when the mass movement of rock debris or earth come down during rainy season. So, what are landslides? Landslides are simply defined as the mass movement of rock, debris or earth down a slope. See, when it is hilly area, when people are constructing the houses and staying there, sometimes the landslides will destroy all that their houses, and it will be even causing death to many people. So, this is known as landslide. So, what is landslide? They are defined as mass movement of rock, debris or earth down the slope. We experience that often in Kerala. We experience during rainy season, most of the rainy monsoon season, we find in all years there are areas where landslides occur, is it? So, it is caused by heavy rainfall, floods, earthquakes and volcanoes. So, what are the reasons for landslides? Heavy rainfall, floods, earthquakes and volcanoes. So, often it occurs in hilly regions or slopes, which are where the loss, it will cause life destruction to the property, and it will lead to the death of many people. So, this is about landslides. Now, we will see how can we stop these landslides. What are the methods to stop landslides? See, first way is to hazard mapping to locate areas prone to landslides. We will see, we will map the places, we will find out the places, we will see which are the places which is often prone to landslides. So, such places will be mapped, hazard mapping to locate the areas. Then such areas, so what we will do, we will see, when we know the areas of some of the areas of Western Ghats, is it? We have protected those areas from or avoided building houses in that areas because they are prone to landslides. So, such places will be avoided for building settlements. Okay. So, first is hazard mapping. Second one is construction of retention wall to stop land from slipping. So, we will build retention walls on the sides of the mountains or slopes, so that the land will not be coming down during rainy season. So, it will not be slipping down. Okay. So, construction of retention wall is a second way of stopping landslides. And the third way is to increase the vegetation cover. You know, when we are planting more trees or planting new plants in our region, what will happen? The roots of the plants will go deep into the soil and hold the soil firmly, isn't it? So, when we are increasing the vegetation cover in that region, it will also reduce landslides. Then the last one is surface drainage control. Drainage control, see, the water should not be seeping through all the ways. Drainage facilities have to be done or made, channels have to be made to take off the rainwater, and proper drainage control works to control the movement of landslide along with rainwater and spring flows. Clear? So, these are the methods to stop landslides. First one is hazard mapping, second one is construction of retention wall, third one is increasing the vegetation cover, and fourth one is to build a surface drainage system. So, the proper draining of the water, so that it will not take away the land as such. So, that is all about land, and we will see the topic soil in the next session. So, thank you till we meet in the next class. Bye.